What's up, everybody? We're back at it with another video again today. If you can already tell by the title, yeah, we do get kicked out of our local casino here in Albuquerque. It was kind of unfortunate because this was the very first night back in June when I decided to vlog. I decided to bust out the phone, jot down some notes, and just film everything. And it was just unlucky, to be honest, getting kicked out for doing just that. Minding my own business, just filming the hands, and getting told, you're done, you have to leave. But the casino is on tribal land, so they have like their own rules. I don't think it's right. I don't agree with them. I mean, let me know if you agree with them. But yeah, I just don't think it's right. And the amount of hours that I put into that place over the last 10 plus years, I'm pretty sure I helped pay their electric bill once or twice, if not more. And I don't know, just their loss, because I think they might have just lost a customer. But I don't want to spoil too much, give too many details away. So we're just going to get right into the hands and let you guys see how it all played out. Hope you guys enjoy.
Hey guys, just parked at the parking structure at Sandia Resort and Casino. About to hop into the 1-3, maybe the 2-5 if it's running, but it is a Monday, so who knows. It is match the stack, so sometimes even the 1-3 plays a little bit bigger than the 2-5. But we'll see what happens, try to run it up, make some money. Let's hit it.
So like I said, guys, all these hands were back in June when I first decided to vlog. So this is day number 1 of how our poker vlogging journey started. At our home casino here in Albuquerque, it's match the stack, but they just started this table. So we start out with a $300 max buy-in. And our first hand that we get involved in, there's a button straddle, and we're in the cutoff with ace-3 of clubs. Folds around to me, I make it 35. The small blind calls and middle position calls. So 3 ways to a flop. And it's queen 9-9, 2 hearts. It checks to me. We're gonna make a continuation bet. We make it 25. Only the small blind makes the call. So heads up to a turn, and it's the ace of diamonds. A great card. Not only does it hit our range, but it hits our hand as well. So when the small blind checks, I continue the aggression. I make it 45. Doesn't take too long, and he folds his hand. So 1 for 1, good start. This next hand, about a half hour passes by. Haven't really got much going, but we're on the button with ace-9 offsuit. There's 5 limpers in the field. I raise to 20, and all but one of those limpers makes the call. So super multi-way to a flop, and it comes 6-6-3 with 2 hearts. It checks around to me, and all we really have is ace high, and I pretty much doubt one bet's gonna get everyone to fold, so I check it back. The turn pairs the board, it's another 3. The big blind makes it 75. The under the gun calls, and the cutoff raises to 200. Ace high is never good here, so I fold, and everybody else folds as well. So what I gathered so far on this table, everyone's pretty call happy and really aggressive. It's not your typical 1-3 game, that's for sure. Most raises pre-flop are around 10x, so it's playing pretty much like a 2-5, if not bigger. Another half hour goes by, and we get into an interesting one. There's an under the gun straddle to 6. We're next to act with pocket 7s. I decide to limp for 6. The guy to my direct left makes it 35. The under the gun straddle calls, and closing the action, I make the call. 3 ways in between 2 opponents, and the flop comes jack 7-9 with 2 spades. We hit bottom set on a super connected board. Under the gun checks, I check, and the initial 3-better makes it 85. On to the under the gun straddle, and he actually jams his entire stack in. We have a little over $200 in our stack, and both players cover us. We have footage, so I'll just let you guys see what happens.
They both all in? Wow. I'm dead. I have to be. I've seen this guy play about 4 hands since I've been here. I might have called LT. I can't call 2. I can't. I have to go run around spades, do we?
No more action.
Really good fold by the end of the gun too, because like he said, there's no way he could be good with pocket aces. And we'll never know what the under the gun straddle had because he just folds his cards. So definitely at a table with a group of guys that aren't afraid to get it in. Shortly after that hand, there's an under the gun straddle again for 6. We're in the cutoff with pocket kings. The low jack limps for 6. The hijack to my right raises to 45. And we just decide to call. Gonna be in position the rest of the hand and giving these guys a little bit of rope because they've been overly aggressive. Forget about what I just said about being in position the entirety of the hand. The button calls and the low jack closing the action calls as well. So don't really think I need to overplay my hand. Just let these guys do what they have been doing and bet for me. The low jack, first to act, dark checks. And this means checking, making your move even before the next streets of cards are dealt. This is something I noticed in Albuquerque especially, that people do quite often. Not so much in Vegas, but I don't know, maybe it's just a New Mexico thing. People like to dark check. When I first started playing poker, I used to do this a lot, not gonna lie. I felt like if I checked in the dark, it's basically like giving me the position back because the guy next to act, usually the initial aggressor, had to act before me. Of course, now I think differently. I almost never dark check. I mean, once in a great while I will, just because, I mean, depending on the situation, but I rarely do it. Let me know what you guys think down below, if you guys like to dark check or if you've seen people do it and your thoughts about it. So 4 ways to a flop with the low jack already dark checking, and it comes ace king 9 all spades. The initial aggressor, the hijack, actually checks to me, and this board is super scary with all spades, even though having middle set. So I throw out a bet, I make it 60, and either everybody believes me or nobody had a spade because they all fold. As you heard that hand when I had pocket 7s, the guy saying I have only played like 1 hand in an hour, which was true. I've only played a couple of hands, but I've just been super card dead and there's really nothing you can do about it. And I'm not a nit. Trust me, I'm not a nit. I like to get into the mix, get in the action. It just wasn't happening. It's just hard sometimes playing with people that are 10xing the blinds pre-flop and expecting you to call with mediocre hands. People that have money and losing a couple hundred, even a couple thousand are just a drop in the bucket. I'm not one of those people. Losing a couple thousand kind of hurts a little bit on the wallet, if you know what I mean. So with being card dead and considered the nit at the table, I actually decided to move tables because for one, I'm either not getting paid if I do catch a hand, and I'm just not catching hands in general. So need a little change of scenery. At this table, we don't have to wait very long. Only a couple hands dealt in. There's a button straddle to 6. There's 5 limps to me. We're in the hijack with ace deuce of diamonds, and I bump it up. I make it 45. Only the player to my right calls, and he only has about $125 behind. So the SPR on the hand is close to 1-to-1. The flop comes queen 4-8 rainbow. There's 1 diamond out there. He checks to me as expected. And like I said, the SPR is 1-to-1. So I don't want to throw out a half pot size bet and then he jams and I'm just kind of in a shitty situation. So I check back. The turn is a 10 of diamonds. So we improve our equity with the nut flush draw. He actually leads for 55, and gaining that equity and drawing to the nuts, we decide to call. The river is a total brick, and I honestly don't even remember what it was. I just know it wasn't a diamond or an ace for that matter. He actually jams his entire stack in, and we fold pretty quickly because can't really win with ace high. A few hands later, we're under the gun, first to act, and we have ace queen offsuit. I raise to 20. The next to act calls, the cutoff calls, and both blinds call. So 5 ways to a flop. And it comes ace king 8 with 2 clubs. Both blinds check to me. I make a continuation bet. I make it 30. Folds around back to the blinds, and they both make the call. So awesome, we're in position the rest of the hand. And the turn comes, it's a jack of diamonds. They both check again to me. I make it 55 this time. Small blind folds, and the big blind makes the call. Really just looking for a non-club on the river, because I put him on a flush draw. He has about $200 behind, and we get the magical river card. It's the 10 of spades. So not only do the clubs miss, we actually get the nuts with Broadway. He checks to us, and I contemplate back and forth. Do I make it super small and for sure get some value? Or do I go for the max and jam my entire stack in to try to get it all? It's just hard to get value when there's a four-liner out there. Any queen makes a straight for the nuts. But I go for the max and jam my entire stack in. Maybe he thinks that I miss my clubs and I'm just trying to make a move. It takes less than a second and he snap calls. And I flip over my hand thinking chop pot, but he looks back at the board and mucks his cards. I almost didn't believe it when he threw away his cards. I was like, what are you snap calling with? Like I don't know, maybe he misread the board. Not sure, but not complaining, taking down a decent sized pot.
What's up, guys? On that mid-session update. Sorry, I'm talking and chewing, but mid-session update. Doing all right. Playing for about 2 or 3 hours. Up a little over 1,000, maybe 1,100. So doing all right. I mean, catching some hands and just haven't really been put in that many difficult situations, to be honest. So, I mean, caught a few sets. What was it? The sevens, the kings. I had the nuts, Broadway, and he snap calls and I take it down. Who the hell knows what he had, which is kind of weird. But anyway, so it worked out. Doing all right. Doing good, playing good. Just picking spots. But gonna finish the meal and go back at it. So, to see what we can do in the next couple hours.
Back from taking a small break and getting some food in us, we're up a decent amount on the session so far, and just hoping to continue that. A little bit of card death hits us after break, but we get involved with this next hand. There's a button straddle to 6. We're in the low jack with jack 9 of spades. The small blind limps for 6. The big blind limps for 6. The under the gun also limps. And we're not having that, so we raise it up and make it 25. Only get one caller. So heads up in position to a flop. And it's queen 9 something, 2 spades. Like I said, these hands were like 6 months ago, and I can't really see it on the film, so we're just gonna call it a brick, but I know it was a spade. He checks to me. I make a continuation bet with our middle pair. I make it 30. He quickly calls. The turn is a queen of clubs, so pairing the top card. He checks again, and with our showdown value, we check it back. The river is a blank, spades miss, straights miss, and he actually leads for 40. I actually snap call this bet because I figured if he had a queen, he would have bet the turn. And maybe just the way he bet the $40 at the end, I smelt BS. I don't know, I just felt it. He seems reluctant to show, but he finally does. He has ace-3 offsuit, and I take it down with queens and 9s. Not sure what he was trying to do, but it works out in our favor, and we get a little bit extra value on the river. A few hands later, we're under the gun with pocket 3s. I raise to 15. The low jack actually min clicks to 30. The hijack calls, the small blind calls, and I'm closing the action. And like I told you guys before, I don't fold to min clicks. And getting an insane price, we make the call. The flop is perfect. It's 3 of clubs, jack of hearts, 10 of spades. It checks around to the initial 3-better, and he throws out a c-bet, makes it 65. The hijack gets out of the way. The small blind calls, and I think about smooth calling, but I really don't want to see any scare cards on the turn. So we bump it up, we make it 210 to go. Seems to have been a little bit too much because they both fold. So no more action for us, but it's always nice to catch a set. A little bit after this hand, we actually get a tap on the shoulder from the floor. They asked me if I was filming, and I wasn't gonna lie. I was like, yeah, I have been. I mean, I'm vlogging, I thinking about doing YouTube, and just wanted to share my hands. He was basically like, yeah, put it away. Like, you can't do that. Like, in a real dick kind of a way. It was just weird. Wasn't like, yeah, man, sorry, you can't do that. I really wish you could. Just upstairs, the cameras, they don't allow that. They don't allow that here. I don't know, like, make up something. Just not like, yeah, put it away. Don't do that. It's like, it's not your casino, bro. You work here. Like, just tell me, like, in a nice way, like, hey, like, I'm sorry, you can't do that. I was just kind of in the zone at that moment. I was winning money. Everything was going well. I was filming hands, just all these ideas about YouTube and vlogging and just the future, I guess you can say, about all this. And getting that tap on the shoulder, just cutting off everything, saying you can't do this, was kind of rough. So I put my phone away. I abide by the rules. I don't ask any questions. I just kind of say, okay, and go on playing. So this next hand we're about to share, I don't film any of the pre-action. I just get the end result of the hand. So here it is. We're in the cutoff with 8-7 of hearts. The end of the gun makes it 12. The end of the gun 1 calls the 12. Folds to me. I raise to 60. Folds around back to the end of the gun, and he jams his whole stack in for 140. Back to me. And we kind of have that hand that are ace crackers. And also we're up on the session quite a bit. So we kind of just shrug our shoulders and call. I know the video is a little wonky because I was trying to stay under the radar, trying to stay away from the floor. So bear with me, but here's the run out.
Heads up.
We catch middle pair on the flop and even get open-ended on the turn, but we don't catch any of our outs on the river, and he wins with pocket queens. Only having the phone out for about 15 seconds, and I already feel and hear the floor behind me telling me I gotta go. I push my chips forward to pay the guy that just won, and I already see 3 security guards coming to escort me out. So we just rack up our chips, head to the cage, and cash out. And we just got kicked out. Very surprising, to be honest. I guess I don't like filming there. Yeah, after I came back from my dinner, I just sat down, put my setup, just my phone, and the floor tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, you kind of saw you filming, you can't film here. I was like, all right, I put it away, no questions asked, whatever. Played a few more hands and got it all in for 140. The guy's affected staff made it 60, tried to make a squeeze, he made it 140. I was like, whatever. And I just filmed the hand, and and it was just real quick too. It was kind of weird. Like, it was like 5 seconds. Like, it was nothing even crazy, and I just wanted to capture the hand. And yeah, but let's get in here. Yeah, so weird. I don't know. I think they just lost a customer, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Might actually head over down south to play again, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, booked a big win. Think 905 total on the night. 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. Not really sure, but yeah, pretty good night. Easy, no hard decisions whatsoever. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. See if there's actually another game at another casino. So might be a part 2 to this. We'll see.